EEE EDC back again with another knife video. So this is going to be actually some quick rapid fire reviews here. This is being recorded actually in the trunk of my car. And I'm doing some rapid fire reviews because I've got to get these knives out. This was a giveaway win, and then I've got 3 other knives that I need to just get out. That was part of the sale. I realized I hadn't recorded videos on them, and I wanted to make sure and do that before I sent them out. So that's why I'm doing these more quickly than what you are used to. In any event, I'm just going to go over them quickly, and we'll do it like that. This is the Boker Plus Lateralus. This is actually a pretty good deal on a budget knife. And this is, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is a recommended knife overall, but it is not, like, I wouldn't go out and say this should be your first purchase. And I'll go over why in a, real quick. So the issue is like this. What you're getting here is you're getting a nice marble carbon fiber. It says luminous carbon fiber. I honestly haven't tested it to see if it glows, but it looks like it has the tinge of some of the type of resin that would glow if you shined a light on it. In any event, those things don't really move the needle for me as far as glow, but I know it does for some people. And I know you guys probably are asking, well, where's your flashlight to do it? I honestly forgot to put that back in, so that is what it is. But this is a marble carbon fiber. You end up with a stainless steel liner, stainless steel frame lock. This is not titanium or aluminum, stainless steel frame lock. Guys, sorry again for the background noise. You also have the D2 steel on this, JB Stout design. So D2 steel, obviously good budget steel, and that's what you're really paying for here. It's the marble carbon fiber and the D2 together, is what you're paying for when you get, as well as the Stout design, when you get to the price range that you're at on this. I believe these are about 60 or 70 bucks, depending on what time of year you get them from and where you get them from. So that is what can be expected. It's getting a little windy out here. I don't know if it's affecting the mic quality, but hopefully you guys can hear me. In any event, this is a ball bearing knife, and it does have excellent action. A really, really excellent action on this for a budget knife. Very happy with that. The ergonomics on this are pretty good. They are not as good. I mean, you have sort of the same profile as far as thin front and then thick back as like a Strider or a Conigarius or something. Well, those knives are much more comfortable than this. This design here, it feels very flat here, and it feels flat here, and it doesn't quite feel as ergonomic in this dimension either. So overall, I'd have to give the ergonomics on that probably a, let's call it a 7. Okay, so as far as just as a quick size comparison, Spyderco Tenacious, Spyderco Delica, just to get an idea of how big this thing is. So what do I think of this thing overall? I think it's actually a pretty decent buy overall. Not necessarily a knife I would recommend you go out and run out to buy, but it is a pretty good knife overall. The reason I say that is mainly because of 2 things. The ergonomics are good but not great, and the other thing is that this choil it causes the blade to be significantly farther away than it needs to be from my hand over here, which I don't like. I like the choke up feeling, but this choil is so small, it's not a comfortable choil. The jimping on here, by the way, is it's aggressive enough that you feel it, but I think it's polished a little bit too much, and so it doesn't really provide a significant grip as it looks like. I will say that you can Spidey flick this, in case you guys are wondering. You can go ahead and Spidey flick this with the fuller, so that is a plus. Alright, so that is the Boker Plus Lateralus, and my recommendations on that. Next up, the Monterey Bay Knives Slayback. This thing is definitely going to be a recommended knife. It is a beautiful knife. This ZDP 189 steel, nice edge retention on that. You get that nice lamination line right there where you have, I believe it's 440C is what they use on top of that. It's a really nice lamination line on here. I love the blade shape. It's a really good utility blade shape for cutting into things, Wharncliffe style blade. It's a little bit aggressive looking, but also a little bit understated. I think this is a great overall blade here, so I absolutely love this. Again, we're going to do some size comparisons. The Spyderco Tenacious here and Spyderco Delica. Okay, guys, I'm going to wait for the ambulance or fire engine to pass real quick, because like I said, it's there. And we'll go ahead and look at these going forward now. All right, so the action on this is excellent. It's on bearings. You know, everything you've come to expect from Monterey Bay Knives, the D10 is fantastic. It's got that Laconico design where, you know, the signature groove right there, and it says Ray Laconico right there on the back of the spine. I love the fact that there's really no billboarding other than that MBK right there. Just a great overall knife. The size is good. This is a very much recommended knife, and possibly even, I mean, I haven't gone back and looked to see whether it would make my top 10 list, but it's possibly a top 10 knife for the year. It's very, very good. These run about $200. I think $190 is the price on these, and I think it's priced very well. I hope they come out with more, because I think they were sold out at the time of this video. I hope they come out with more. They should. They usually do a restock, but this is an excellent knife. Next up, the Hoback A15 Slimline. So this is basically the same design as the Husky, from what I understand, and this has the Hoback rolling detent. It has a captured pivot right here. It is all titanium. I believe the steel on here is 20 CV. I don't have that in front of me. Most of his knives are either 20 CV or S35VN. Both of those steels are great to go. And most users won't notice a significant difference between the two. The action on this is smooth as butter, very, very cool, and absolutely love that. The biggest difference, as far as the reason it's the same design as the Husky, the biggest difference is the thickness. So you'll see, like, the Husky is super thick, it's super chunky. So this is the Delica. You can sort of see Delica's a very thin knife. This is still thicker than the Delica, but you're going to get, and here's the Tenacious, right? So it's about as thick as a Tenacious, maybe a little bit thicker than a Tenacious. So it's really much thinner. I guess that's why they call it the Slimline, than the Husky. The Husky itself is like super thick, like a, think Medford Marauder thick, right? It's a super thick knife. But this is a really cool design. I will say a couple of things that I like about it and don't like about it. I love the sort of bead blast finish here with the blade and the monochrome finish. I think it looks great. Everything feels nice. I love what Hoback does with it. It's all USA manufacturing and production. Absolutely love that. The pocket clips are good on these. Good to go. They never get caught on anything for the most part, and you know, they do leave a lot of knife sticking out. They leave about that much knife sticking out. I don't, like I said, I'm not a deep carry clip snob, but you know, if you can't show a knife where you're working, just keep that in mind. There might be other options on the market since it's a regular 2-screw pattern, but for the most part, just be aware that that's an issue that you may have if you have any problems with that. The lanyard hole's out of the way, which I appreciate, and again, this is just a great overall fit, finish. Everything is awesome. I will say, just from a design point overall, this design isn't really my style for a couple reasons. One is the way he canted the blade down and the handle down this way. It's like it's canting 2 ways off of the middle point. I don't love that, just in the way I use my knives. But you know, if that's your thing, it's cool. By the way, I have size large gloved hands. The other thing is, there's a lot of handle on this knife, a lot of handle, and you definitely notice it. My brain wants to choke up on this, and there is no choil. However, there's enough of a spot here on the flipper tab that you can choke up, and it's no problem. But I will say that my brain really wants a choil there. But like I said, when you're on that flipper tab, as long as you're not putting your finger up on the blade and you're pulling back on that flipper tab, you should be okay. Yeah, so I kind of get, it's one of those knives, like almost like a Strider, where you feel like you're not using the back end of the knife. You feel like you're only using the front end of the knife and having to ride up on the blade a little bit. And I like Striders, but you know, or at least the larger Striders. I don't like the smaller ones because I feel like there's no usable blade on those. Yeah, overall, this is a really cool knife as far as size comparisons. Spyderco Delica, MBK Slayback, right? It's a pretty big knife. The Spyderco Tenacious. Yeah, so you can see it's definitely a big knife. All right, next up, another big knife, the Olamic Rainmaker. And by the way, the Rainmaker is the only one of these, I believe. They may have the A15 Slimline, but the Rainmaker is definitely one that is carried by DLT. I'll put some links below. DLT is my preferred retailer, and if you use the links below, they cost nothing to you. They help the channel. So if you want to buy this knife, you know, definitely check out those links. The Olamic Rainmaker is one note on this, by the way, before I get into the Olamic, is this runs like $700. I think it's overpriced. I think it's probably $500 or so is a better price range for this. If you buy them on the secondary, you can definitely find it in that price range. So I would recommend this one, the A15 Slimline, on the secondary. All right, as far as the Olamics, is sort of known for everything being customized. So as far as this Olamic goes, the Rainmaker, this one can be customized. I have another one with 1 hole, not 5. This is the 5-hole pattern. They come, you know, also in options with all sorts of things, Timascus and mammoth bone, or the exotic anodization on different titanium, or you know, there's G10 inserts, all sorts of stuff that you can get on these knives. And they also have different blade shapes. They have a harpoon. They have I think a regular blade shape. I forgot exactly what the blade shapes are, but definitely check out the links below for the options. But like I said, no two of these are the same. And the finish, that goes for the blades also. The blades aren't always finished in satin, right? So yeah, there are a lot of good options on this. These are a little pricey. They run up from about like $545 all the way up to, you know, $700, $800, $900, depending on the materials you put into it for the customization. And so it is a pretty pricey knife. This is another one that you can get cheaper on the secondary, but you know, one of the reasons it's cheaper on the secondary is because you know, you have to like the configuration you're getting. And so if you see one, you know, on the like a DLT below, or at another retailer, and you if you see one that you like, just remember there's probably not going to be another one exactly like that one, right? So you may need to go ahead and get that one. In any event, this is a very nice knife. I believe these are on washers. I don't think they're on bearings, but they have a really, really smooth action here. You know, coming down, it's just really smooth all the way down. Nice action. You see how nicely that falls. And the detent on these is really good, and you could really hear the thwack when this thing comes out, right? And it gives that really solid feeling that you get with the thwack. The handle feels a little skinny in my hand, I'll be honest, but overall it actually is pretty comfortable. Probably say a 7.5 out of 10 for ergonomics. The choil up here is very usable, and especially on the harpoon style blades, it's a perfect spot for your thumb to go. I have size large glove hands, as I said. And this gives you really a lot of control of that blade. You do have a lot when you're choked up of the handle sticking out, but again, that you end up using most of that handle when you are back up on the knife. But this is one of those fun ones, like you know some knives you want to fidget with on the couch, right, or in a recliner. This is one of those knives where I enjoy fidgeting with it on the recliner, because the haptic feedback from that flip out is greater than a lot of the haptic feedback that you get from a lot of other knives, because of the way the detent is, because of how long the blade is, and everything else. And this is a large knife as far as the long blade. That's a Spyderco Delica. You can see this thing is significantly bigger than both the Delica and the Tenacious, right? But it is much smaller in the height dimension, right? It's a very slim knife, carries extremely well. The titanium milled clip on these is very easy to go in and out of pocket, very discreet. This is just a very, very nice knife, and the only reason I'm getting rid of this one is because I have another one. Honestly, if I didn't have the other one, I would keep this one. So yeah, this is one of my sort of go-to knives for fidgeting on the couch, just because of that really, really nice haptic feedback. Yeah, so as far as do I recommend this one overall, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, if you can find a configuration you like on the secondary market, great. If you see one that just, captures your heart on a retailer, pay full price, because it's actually worth it, right? These are hand finished and hand assembled, and all those things. They're hand tuned. This is, when you talk about a mid-tech, this is a mid-tech. It's really a true mid-tech because you do have a lot of hands-on here that you know, more so here than you do with a lot of other knife manufacturers who do quote-unquote mid-tech knives. In any event, thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all my content, and thank you again for your support.